Hey everyone, I'm Gina. I'm the product designer for Verify Testing and Runner. And today I wanted to walk you through the runner vision that we've been working on recently and the steps that we're taking to get there. Just move to the next slide. So I wanted to provide some context and background because I think runners is something that is kind of like a hidden feature, I would say. And if you don't go looking for it, you don't really have to interact with it. So generally, runners are used to execute a job. So whenever you run a job or a pipeline, usually we're using shared runners on GitLab.com today, and we don't have to worry about anything. They're just set up to run stuff. And just for an example, I'm just going to skip over to a job right now. So this job, for example, is running with this runner. So like I said, it's just like a kind of a hidden feature. You don't have to worry about it if you don't have to take care of them. Another thing is that they can be configured to only run specific jobs because they have these things called tags. And tagging a runner for the types of jobs it can handle can make sure that shared runners will only run the jobs that they're equipped to run. So for example, at GitLab, we have runners tagged with Rails, and if they contain the appropriate dependencies to run Rails test suites, then they'll be picked up to run that job. And then I'm gonna hop over into what we're really focusing on for this vision is around the admin area of runners. And I have GDK running, so I just wanted to show you the way that you can get to this area is if you're in the menu and then you go to the admin area and then you'll hop over to this runners tab or nav item. This has actually been updated since I first joined the team in July. So it looks a bit different already because we're taking steps to get there, and I'll zoom in. But I just wanted to go through these types of runners because those are pretty important to understand. When I was just talking through the shared runners, those are considered instance runners. So they're runners that are available to all the groups and projects that are in your organization. Then you can have group runners, which are only runners that are available for a group and its subgroups. And then you have project runners that are also called specific. And they are runners that are only equipped to run for that project or projects that you share the runners with, which is a little complicated. And then I'm going to hop back over here. So the core job that we wanted to solve with this is when you're managing the execution of many CI jobs, you want an overall understanding of the job executors connected to your organization so you can make effective decisions. So that job really centers around that table view. And sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but I thought it was really important to show the current experience today. When you are looking at runners, there's some specific attributes that you would want to be able to filter by to find one and then take the action. And we only provide 2 filters today. So it is pretty difficult to find something very quickly if something was going wrong. And then we also allow you to look at that runner and then see the details of it, which is also a pretty cluttered experience today. And one of the things that I'll just bring up really quickly is that if you have a project runner, it's associated with a project. So if a job is not running correctly and it has to do with that runner, you want to be able to navigate to that to that project very quickly to be able to find it. We allow you to assign projects with this right here, but in order to even navigate to that project, you'd have to go up here and then go to projects, go into that project, go into settings, and then go to your runners from there. So it's a pretty disjointed experience and definitely makes for more time to complete the job. So with that said, a lot of the things that I learned for the gaps in the experience actually came from the UX scorecard exercise right when I joined the team. And I linked the issue. I'm not going to go through that today, but there were a lot of low-hanging fruits that we got from that overview that we brought into just make quick changes to help. And then we also were brainstorming as a team. We have refinement meetings. We had other meetings that were specifically for brainstorming for this larger vision that we had. And then I collaborated with the PM to prioritize and break up the work into epics. So I'll show you that. It's a huge epic. It has a lot of sub epics, but we wanted to break it up so that we have like a timeline of what we can get to first and then where we want to go after, which are kind of represented by these sub epics. And then finally, we brainstormed vision criteria and talked through the jobs to solve. I did that with my PM in a sync meeting, and that's where this vision was kind of documented. And I documented that in this issue. So now I'm going to hop into actually like talking about the vision. I just documented a bunch of the notes of what we want to solve for this vision, where we want to go, and then created these designs, which are pretty lo-fi, but Nadia and Vitiga had come up with this format before, and I wanted to steal it because it was a little more intriguing than just like blocks on page. So for the vision that we have for runners in the admin view, we would want a system admin or a platform engineer to come in here and easily be able to find their runner. We could present a breakdown of the statuses that are really important for runners. So that's what these things are up here. And these could change, but I just picked up some really important ones that would allow you to then like take an action on. So that's why they're there. And then we would enhance the filtering to include a lot more attributes. One of them is projects assigned, for example. So going back to the example that I was bringing up before, when you're looking at a project runner, you want to be able to know what projects are assigned to that runner. So if I clicked projects assigned, I could then like select a project and then see all of the runners that are assigned to that project, for example. We also wanted to break up the way that we're presenting actions here. So if you were eventually able to take bulk actions on on many runners, like deleting many, for example, we could do that by adding the bulk actions pattern. And then something that would be like super future would be presenting recommendations of what to do with runners that may fall into these special areas. We have this concept of stale runners that would be runners that haven't contacted GitLab in over 3 months. And if they haven't done that, then usually they're just not being used. And right now, there can be like tens of thousands of runners that you're dealing with, and many of them could just be not contacting. So in reality, we want those to be deleted. So as a very future thing, we could provide a alert that those will be deleted at a certain time and date, or to get there, like a step in between there is we could provide a recommendation to delete those, and then that's where like bulk actions could come into play. The last thing that I added here was updates available, because runners can fall behind versions pretty quickly, and we wanted to make sure that we surface the ones that have updates available so that you're actually aware of that. And I think that's pretty much all there. Oops. Let me just hop back over. So then that's the vision, but we're taking a lot of steps to get there, which you kind of already saw from the UI that I was showing from GDK. We have this sub epic that's around admin view usability improvements. So we want to improve that table view, and I listed some of these designs that were worked on in 14.4 and then 14.5. And there's a ton of other issues that we also are using as steps to get to that vision. But yeah, we've made a lot of really good improvements so far. We're still collecting feedback of the vision. We've already received some from customers, and then also from internal GitLab team members. So that is all.
Thank you, Gina, for the presentation. I have the first point here in the agenda. Just want to say kudos to you. Runa has been in a state where we need to move forward with the low-hanging fruits while defining the vision and defining the technical problems and understanding that, but with limited resources for, I would say, almost a year now. So it's really great to see the design vision everything around usability, because that's a big issue and the pain point for the enterprise customers that we have today. So solving that will really unlock a lot of attention in terms of adoption for Verify. So thank you, Gina, for showing that and for working on this topic. It's really awesome. Austin, you have the next point, next non-read only point.
I had lost where my Zoom screen went as I was typing out my note. So my first introduction to runners was probably last fall when I was trying to get a terminal to run in the web IDE. It requires a runner to do something. Truthfully, I never fully figured it out, but I got it running enough, no pun intended, that I could actually get the button to appear so that I could test it for button migration. Is there an epic or an issue somewhere that has more of those like connected pieces where runners are a dependency for a feature somewhere else in the product? So I can better understand like what I need to do specifically, because I was doing everything you're doing, jump overing like the admin area into like my project runners, and then like trying to get variables to kick off, and I never quite figured it out.
Yeah, I think, well, some of the docs has helped me at least configure that. I'll get the link and post it in the Google Doc. But I think another thing is that, I mean, if you could make an issue around the experience that you had there, because I think we're missing a lot of those like pieces in the middle where we're providing help along the way when a runner is needed, for example, and you need to go and then like set it up. So that would be great. But I'll give you the doc link that has helped me at least. Hopefully it will help.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, that'll get me started, and I'll add to my to-do list for Friday to walk through where I got stuck, and then maybe they'll give us a point to start with.
Thank you.
I'm doing the Christie and let you all come up with questions. We still have 3 minutes to go. Anyone else? All right, then I'll stop the recording. Thank you, Gina.
Thanks.